Hey,
Welcome to Tuesdays in the Shop.
sorry we're late. I don't know how to read a clock apparently.
We've also been very busy cutting what you might have guessed.
Everglow
Everglow
Tula.
pre-orders.
We
So
got 15 boxes.
yeah,
of
and
fabric.
not small boxes, big boxes.
Yeah, I think it weighed, was it 350 pounds?
I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
Yeah. It's like,
'Cause
I'm
let's see,
glad FedEx
40.
carries those all the way to the back for us because
So,
if we had to carry those ourselves, we would have been in trouble.
so 32 times 45 would be the number of yards.
Okay.
Which I don't know what that is off the top of my head.
A lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Oh, I just realized my hair looks insane.
32 times 45. So 1,400 yards of fabric.
And you all already bought most of it.
Yeah.
That's the amazing part.
Yes.
So for those of you who don't know, when we run pre-orders, you can order fabric that's coming in later. And then the second it lands, we start cutting. We have all the packing slips printed ahead of time. We have made like sheets for ourselves to know what goes into each one.
Yep. How many
And
fat
we have
quarters? How many half
stations.
yards? How many full yards?
There was 3 of us cutting all day today.
Yeah, 3 cutting,
Different parts.
2 people folding, 1, and then you were
Starting to ship.
shipping.
Yep, a bunch of you have already gotten shipment notifications because I did ship a bunch of orders already.
Yeah.
And today, what we wanted to focus on, sorry, I'm messing with my stuff.
And I'm messing with some other thing.
In the last couple of times that we talked about Everglow and Neon True Colors, oh, Lily says she's so excited to pick up her pre-order. And Lily, I already did part of yours.
It is
It's
exciting.
almost ready to pick up. Last few times we talked about this, we mentioned that for this release, Tula did 8 animal prints, which is the Everglow part of it. And then she did, what is it, 33?
8 of
blenders?
each, so 24.
24.
So 8
Where did I
dots,
get
8
33
stripes,
from?
and 8,
Oh, 8 times 3,
of
yeah.
the Fairy Frost.
Yeah.
Or
So
Fairy Flakes.
this is her new blender. So these will be available for at least 2 years. And it's the same idea as the Trent Stripe and pom-pom
Pom-poms.
that she already had, but in new colors and with the neon dye.
Yeah, so same shape, same size, same size.
Scale.
Yeah, scale. There you go. Good. That's a better word. Of the stripes and the dots. And while we've been cutting, we've been having such a good time. Just like, oh my God, it's so
They're
pretty.
really good. And one thing she did that I think is so smart for this round
Yeah, let me see if
is
I can
instead
actually
of
match.
making the
So that
stripes
goes.
and
that's
the
that
dots
one.
and the stripes exactly the same, like in the last batch. The dots are lights and the stripes are darks.
Yeah.
So you can see that the pink is exactly the same, but this has a very pale background. I would say this is like a blush pink.
That's a good name for it.
Whereas this has a sort of like purpley gray background.
Where's my?
So,
and then the Fairy Flake has a even different. I think is that one?
Oh, that's
that one.
yeah.
So it's sort of in between.
Which is a little weird actually.
It's a
Like
little bit, but
like this color and this color, in my opinion, are a little too close to each other. Like I would have.
But some of them are
are
definitely
jump.
more different. So I believe this is
right. This
Spirit.
is a much better example. The jump there is nice.
Yeah, so in the Spirit, you've got your light pom-pom, your medium Fairy Flake, and then your dark 10 stripe.
Yep.
But the print color is all the same
Right. The neon
across all
on
of
all
them.
3 is the same turquoise neon.
Yeah, I've been really digging the dots. I was cutting the stripes and the Fairy Flakes most of the day, and someone else was cutting stripes. And then at the end of the day, I was cutting stripes for kits, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're so pretty.
I think the dots are a little clownish.
I'm into them.
I still think
they're pastel, but with neon.
Oh, haha.
So it's like
my sticker on my laptop.
Which one is that one?
Just like
Oh, that one.
wieners.
Yeah.
I mean, my dog's a dachshund and he's a wiener. Yeah.
But yeah, they're almost pastel. The backgrounds are these really usable colors, and then you've just got this really fun dot on top.
Yeah.
Like so my daughter over the weekend realized that I'm capable of sewing clothing.
You've made her a costume how many years?
Yeah, but I guess I'm keeping it kind of on the down low. So she's like, oh, can you make me a dress? And I was like, yes. Can you make dresses for all my friends? No.
I also can't hem your pants.
Well, she doesn't need her pants hem, but that's a different story. But yeah, so now so she wants me to make this dress for her, which is fine. But like, how cute would some of these little dots be in a little dress for a girl?
Yeah.
I'm
And,
just
you know,
like,
you
oh
can
my
do dots,
gosh.
like,
And
for the
combining the,
skirt,
exactly.
and then stripe for the top, or, you know.
And the one I'm doing is the Bondi, the mini Bondi dress, which we have the pattern, or we did. We might have sold out of it. But in the back, the yoke in the back is a separate print.
Oh, right.
So like if I did this and then
Oh,
a
man.
dot for the rest, like how cute would that
You know, I cut out fabric for that shirt like
Oh,
3
did you?
years ago. Because you just reminded me, because there's that contrast fabric on the back, and I suddenly
Yeah.
remembered which
Well, I
fabric
bought the
picked.
pattern
Yeah.
years ago thinking, oh, I'll make dresses for my kid.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That, yeah, as you can see. So
So-
now she's on the second to last size.
Okay, so you gotta
So
hurry
I
up.
had to dig through to find, I was like, I know I have a pattern here somewhere.
Yeah, so
I found it.
all
and
of you at home who have a ton of projects started, we get it. And
we
are
have
you.
the same.
And it's worse for us because we have to make samples for the store. We have to keep track, you know, like
Yep.
working on stuff that's coming up, or like, yeah. So
Yeah,
like,
I
the
have to
amount of
think a
stuff
couple
I've
months ahead.
like started, and by started I mean shop for fabric and maybe done some cutting,
Maybe, yeah, cutting.
and then put it in a pile. You know, It's
And
like,
sometimes I end up with those.
oh, yeah,
Sometimes
she's
they just sit in a
inherited some of
drawer.
them.
And then they sit in my closet, half finished.
Do you know what I found recently? Like a gazillion years ago, there was this what even book was it? Oh, it was in the Allison Glass applique book. She
Oh,
had this
uh-huh.
quilt that was like a reverse applique.
Yeah, with the jersey.
With a jersey on top. And I found a tote bag, one of our original Gotham tote bags.
Oh, yeah.
With a piece of fabric that was going to be the background and a piece of the knit that was going to be the foreground. It's been sitting in that bag.
Because that
for
was
like
when we were
6
upstairs.
years?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, that's how our life.
We know what it's like.
Yes.
We're one of you.
I'm just gonna like keep, and I've been playing with these fabrics
Yeah.
since we got this bundle, and I'm still playing with them.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, so
look
one
at
of the things we
these.
wanted to show you is like, what do you do with these kinds of blenders where the scale is very large, right? So
Yes.
the very first thing I wanted to show you
Here's
is,
light, medium, and dark.
yeah, so this peach in the
It's
middle
very
is
close,
really
but it's so pretty.
No, this is less close than the other one. Isn't
You
it?
think?
Maybe not.
Whatever.
It doesn't matter.
They're pretty. That's
Ooh,
the
stripes
bottom line.
remind me of Kentucky Derby.
Interesting.
It is that kind of vibe because it's like a tent.
She did call it tent stripe,
Yep. Like a
which I
circus
thought
tent.
was, yeah, based off a circus tent, which is kind of funny that this one is called tent stripe, but you think this one is kind of clownish.
No, it says, oh,
This one is called pom pom, though.
yeah. Okay, whatever. So the first thing I wanted to say about what you can do with these blenders is that if you are doing EPP and you're doing a 1-inch hexagon, this is a template for a 1-inch hexagon. This dot, oh, I should probably take this off because you're not going to be able to see what I'm talking about. if I
Even
put
with it,
on
I'm
there.
not sure you'll be able to, because
You
you'll be able to see through it.
Well, that's the point.
I don't know. Yeah,
Can you do this for me?
I can try.
I don't have good fingers. So what I was going to say is this size dot fits perfectly in a 1-inch hexagon.
Yes.
So depending on what you're doing with your 1-inch hexagons, you can just put a couple of dots, or you can make a secondary design. Like Tula did a pattern a couple
Should I
years
go grab
ago
that pillow?
where she had like a zigzag of dots inside the hexagons, and you can do so many cool things. Oh, thank you.
Actually, and I'm going to go run and grab something because I just had an idea.
So this shows you, see how perfect it fits right in the middle there? Right in the middle. So you can fussy cut these dots into a 1-inch hexagon, and the 1-inch size is the most popular size when you're doing EPP. So this is super useful to have this little tweak.
So one of the projects we did, again, several years ago with Tula's original pom-poms is
Oh, I forgot that was pom-pom.
the I probably just messed up my mic. Modern handcrafted, what is it called? Modern Hexie?
Yes.
Modern Hexie.
Pattern, which is a pattern on our website.
Yep, a pattern on our website. So these are, I believe these are 1-inch, right? Yes. So 1-inch hexagons, and you can see here we tried to fussy cut to put the to put the dots in the center of most of the, I can't see, most of the hexagons here, which I thought looked pretty cool. We switched it up so they weren't all right in the center. But that I thought looked really cool. And now we have all these new colors we've actually been needing to redo this kit because these fabrics, the non-pom-pom fabrics have been discontinued. So we haven't been able to sell this kit for a little bit. But now maybe we can make a new one with some of these new colors.
We haven't had that idea until...
I know, until literally just now.
What background would we use?
Oh man, that's a good question. See, we'll have to
like do like a rainbow, right?
I think so. And yeah, see, didn't get a chance to put much thought into this beforehand.
Okay.
But we'll think about that later.
Yes, the hexagons are applique. So you basically EPP each hexagon, and then you attach it, and then they get stitched on with the quilting.
Right. So they're not actually sewn down other than the quilting.
Yep.
So it's not, so you don't even have to, I think we just glued, the seam allowance under and then do your stitching. So it's not
And I like how you quilted
super
this.
complicated. I do too. Well, I mean, this is how she did it
Oh,
in the pattern. Yeah.
Fine, I like
So that you can make the star and get all of the points of the hexagon tacked down.
Yeah.
So you don't have like flippy.
It could be cool to hand quilt this too.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot you could do with this.
Pillow. What if the background was like black?
Ooh. All right, we'll be back with this one.
As a kit.
So stay tuned. Maybe we'll do another video in a month or something.
So the reason we're focusing on blenders from this group is because the blenders are going to be around for a little while, right?
Right.
The animals are sort of like flash in the pan. Is that a saying?
Yes, it is actually.
Flash in the pan, like here and gone, right? But the blenders we are going to have probably for 2 years. So we can start planning all kinds of different projects and like showing you how to use it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What Andrew's playing with off the camera is binding. Have
Yeah.
you made a stripe binding yet?
We love striped bindings. So this is one of the 1-inch sashers that's good for pre helping to fold your binding and stuff. So just running, you cut a 2-inch strip and then run your sasher along it and it will fold it appropriately.
And normally you'd be using your iron on the other
Yes,
side.
you'd iron it as you go through. Right.
So
I didn't do it but this fabric takes a crease pretty well. The print, the neon part, is actually a little bit of a heavier kind of print. So it does have a slightly different hand than like the regular tent stripes.
Yeah, but it's not scratchy or anything.
No, it's definitely not scratchy.
It's almost rubbery.
It has a little bit of a rubbery, but it not.
Don't let that deter you.
Yeah.
It's not thick. It's very, very light.
Right. No, it's not thick. It just does feel a little bit different. But it creases pretty well. So it looks like it's going to work. But yes, normally you'd run your iron right behind it, just like a binding tape maker.
Yeah. So this one we cut straight, right?
Yes.
But you can cut this on the bias, and then you get like a barber pole binding, which is even cooler. But it is a little bit more work, so we usually don't bother. We usually just do this.
Because I think it still looks cool when it's straight grain.
Right, because it's like only this much, right?
Right. That's how much you end up seeing.
The other thing I wanted to show you is we had a customer.
Fussy cutting this too.
Oh, yeah.
So Yvette didn't even realize, but the fairy flakes are also great. So we've got the bird is going to be a little bit too much to fussy cut in a 1-inch hexagon, but the star is perfect. The heart is perfect. Even some of these other shapes here, like that one just fits. That would be good. Even this one, I think, even if it was running a little bit all the way to the edge, I think that would still be cool. And I'm hoping you can see that the glare isn't too bad.
Hold it a little bit closer to the camera, I think.
Oh yeah, that's better.
We just got a question if the fabric is double-sided like batik, and it is not. This is just a regular print.
Yeah. So only on one side, although in some cases you might have seen the back of the purple. Just because it's dark, it's kind of a dark print. You can see through the fabric a little bit more, but it is only printed on one side.
And you know what I just noticed? Yeah, look, this is, no, I'm wrong. Do we have one of these that has a selvage?
Probably not, because these were the fat quarters. So they may or may not have a selvage.
Yeah, they still.
Oh, that one does.
Yeah, so, because sometimes when you get fabrics like this, they're printed on a solid. And if they're printed on a solid, then you don't get a selvage that's white. So anytime you see a selvage that's white like this, it'll have the dots of the print on them, right? So
And
these are
show you
the
colors.
screens that get used to print. Like it's a big roll like this, and each color has a roll. So you can see here that this was a white fabric,
You're
laughing
learning.
at me because it's
No,
not a
you're
roll?
learning well. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You're
She's
getting good at
laughing at
this.
me, but I'm saying it correctly.
She is. It was a proud. It wasn't a laugh. It was
Uh-huh.
it was a
I
proud.
saw that laughing. So here is the color that was rolled, to make this background color. But you can tell that the fabric that it started with was white because the selvage was white. And the thought I just had was like, it kind of looks, when you look at the other end, it kind of looks like it was printed on a solid because the selvage isn't printed. But that's just because that's the side without the selvage.
Right.
The
Yeah,
with
they
the
usually
selvage
print
shows
all the way
selvage.
to the edge
Yep,
on those sides.
So never mind that thought that I had.
Yeah, so lots of shapes to fussy cut with this one.
Ooh, Lily's asking if there's solids that will match. We should go check.
Honestly,
The neon is not going to have
the
a
neon
match,
isn't.
but the backgrounds we might be able to get matches for.
That is an excellent question. I wish we had looked at that earlier.
Yeah, we didn't have that thought before, but thank you. That's a good idea.
I think a lot of the dots will probably match unicorn poop.
So unicorn poop, for those who don't know, it's an absurd name, but it's Tula's name for her pastels, her solids that are pastels.
The stripes are not going to match.
Right. The neon definitely is
And
not gonna match.
I don't think these are going to match either.
We have a crossweave that's kind of this color.
That's true. Honestly, I mean, this is kind of close to a Gian, I believe.
Yeah, it's a good idea, Lily. We will work on that for you.
That is excellent. Thank you for bringing that up. That's a great idea. We can figure out what the closest is if there is any. But my guess is the dots will be close to the unicorn poop. May or may not actually match. But the stripes and the fairy flakes, I'm not actually sure if there will be matches.
We'll get you an answer for that.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
The other thing I wanted to show you is we had a customer who used not these 10 stripes because we didn't have them yet, but the old 10 stripes. And what she did was brilliant.
And I'm excited about trying.
Yeah, so she took a length of the fabric and then she matched it, but off one. So instead of making, you can just do it. Yeah, that's a good idea. So instead of stitching the dark to the dark and the light to the light, she shifted it over one, like Andrew is about to show you.
If I can get it kind of straight. So something like that.
And she was using it as, she made like a strip. And it looked so cool. And like she had done all this really tiny piecing. But all she did is stitch 2 stripes offset. And like the ideas that you can make, if you cut them at an angle, you can put them back together and make make
diamonds. You can make crosses. K Facet has a couple patterns with his shot stripes, shot cotton stripes, where it's just stripes. And depending on how you cut it, you can get squares, diamonds, crosses, lots of different shapes. It looks like you've done, like you were saying, a lot of complicated piecing, but you didn't.
Like a tessellation, you get all these different, there's just so many.
And you could do that with a hexagon too.
Yeah.
So
imagine if you had hexagons that were lined up with the stripes, but you pieced them going this way, right? You'd have like this kind of thing happening with the stripes. I think that would be awesome. All we need is like to clone ourselves so we have time to play with all these ideas.
Which is what we talk about all the time. If we only had clones.
My biggest dream is to be able to clone myself.
I would love to.
That and teleport.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like one of me can go be on vacation.
Well, even if you could teleport, you wouldn't even need a clone as much because you wouldn't have to commute. You would. I've thought about this teleporting thing for a while. Believe me. I've also read that it will literally never happen. No. Science will never.
But I can dream.
Yes, of course.
Anyway, so that was neither here or there. But
you want to hear us talk about time travel and teleporting?
Yeah. I'm a geek. So.
Yeah, we're kind of geeks.
That was really what we wanted to show you today is these new blenders that have just come in. If you go to our website, as you probably have known, we've been taking pre-orders for this group for a couple months now. If you go to the site now, you'll see that we've turned off the ordering for the animal prints and the kit that includes that because we almost ran out.
We're very close.
Need to fill all those pre-orders because people who pre-ordered get first dibs, right? And like, what if we miscut something?
Yeah, we had a big group of German tourists today, and they saw because I was cutting the stripes downstairs. and someone else was cutting the animals up here, and they saw the stripes and the dot, and they're like, "Oh my God, do you have the animals?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can't sell them to you, but I have them."
Yeah. So just so you know, the pre-orders are off for those while we finish all of it and we figure out what's left.
Right.
Once we know what's left, then we will list everything by yards. You can still pre-order the blenders though, because
We do have enough of the blenders.
that
Yeah.
if someone wanted to get a full collection or just all the dots or just all the stripes, we do still have enough. So you go in and you'd be in that first batch because we're
Yes.
going in order.
And then as soon as we finish those, we'll turn on yardage.
Yep.
So you'll be able to order specific yardage of each print as opposed to just bundles.
Right.
We still have star cluster kits available.
Oh, right. And that kit they ship separately.
So those shipped
yardage
today.
The yardage arrived today.
Right.
The pre-cuts, the design rolls, and the layer
Charm.
cakes. Did we get layer cakes or only charm packs? I don't.
I think just charm packs.
So those ship separately.
And the star cluster kit.
The star cluster kit is awesome. I'm going to pull it up just so you can see
And
it.
we have backings available for the star cluster kit, as well as the scrapbooking kit, which is the kit that we came up with.
Right.
Which we're hoping we'll have enough to be able to make a couple more of those as well. I think we're going to. But yeah, stay tuned.
Here's
because
the star cluster kit. I love it.
I do think it's really nice.
And she did kind of the same thing we were just explaining about how to use these blenders, right? You see how it makes it look like you did a bunch of piecing in these outer sections of these sort of snow globe-y
Star.
blocks. But that's not that's not piecing. That's
Right.
just fussy cutting the stripes. So these stripes are all cut like a normal way. These
Yeah,
are
they're just
horizontal,
rectangles
but
or
then
squares.
You rotate it when you're piecing it and it makes this really cool effect. And in the inside here where it's all the colors, you can see she did the same thing, right? These are at an angle and these are straight. And it gives this really cool effect that looks like you did way more work than you actually did.
Which is always nice.
Also, I have to point out, look at the dot, it's fussy cut in
I
the
just realized
cornerstone.
that. Did I just lose my microphone?
But like the thing we were just saying that you can fussy cut the dot.
I
the
didn't
10
even
stripe-
notice
from
that until
the
now.
pop-up. She fussy cut them into the cornerstones of the sashing.
That's
I
pretty
am
awesome.
obsessed. I love that.
That is
a
pretty
little
cool.
touch that makes such a big difference in the way it looks.
And then show them our kit, the scrapbooking kit,
Oh, okay.
which I'm sure you've seen before, but we're just going to show you again because it's pretty nice.
So see how it says sold out? This is because I turned off the ordering because we don't know if we can make
Right.
more
As soon
of
as we
this.
determine how many more we can make, we'll add more.
Yep.
So this is a scrapbooking pattern by Sweet Tea Company, Pattern Company, and this one was just perfect. Like the squares in the center are just right for framing those animals, and then you can use every single color. It uses the dots, the stripes, and the fairy flakes.
Yeah, you're so proud of
together.
yourself.
I
You
am.
used all of the prints.
I am, because I was working on another pattern originally to try to use this collection, and it just got a little crazy with all the colors and all of the pattern, and I couldn't use all of them, and it just wasn't working. And then I tried this one, and it was just immediately like, oh, this is it. Yep.
And the things that we really struggle to make fit,
They don't.
like we should just stop. It's like either it works and it's like brilliant,
Yeah.
or we're,
And if we don't get excited about it, you guys aren't going to get
that's true,
excited
too.
about it.
it's like we don't think of ourselves as like selling things so much because like you can tell we actually
Yeah, we
really
just
love this
get
stuff.
excited.
And it's like I'm telling you because I think it's cool and you're gonna think it's cool too, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to sell what we sell because we truly love it.
Exactly.
It's the same with Bernina. Whenever
Oh,
explaining
exactly.
anything about Bernina, it's like I'm not even trying to sell it to you. I'm just explaining
It's
why
just a
it's awesome.
Great machine.
So this kit, no, not this one. The one I just had up. This one, I've turned off the pre-ordering right now until we settle down and finish all the orders.
But we'll
But
add
this
some more.
one is still up because these are coming from Free Spirit and we still have some available.
Yes.
When this is gone, we can't get any more.
Right.
So
And no one.
One limited edition, one run of them, and that's it.
Yeah, and that's how they normally, usually Tula will release one quilt kit where the pattern is only available in that kit.
Right.
And then once they're gone for good.
Yep. What's nice about this one is it's not gigantic. A lot of her kits are huge. This one is 75
Oh
inches
yeah,
square,
that one is.
which
Yeah.
I mean, it's not small. But
Yeah, sometimes they're
most
like
of them-
100 by
right,
100.
And it's like we don't all need
Most of
multiple
us.
queen and king
Yeah,
size clothes,
exactly.
right? So this is like a large throw, but still like a usable size.
And a lot of us here in the city, we don't have guest rooms
We
for
don't
our
have
guest beds. Right, exactly.
Anyway, that's basically it. So if you're excited about Everglow just like we are, you can come on in and see all the pretties.
And having this behind us makes me think, should we try one of these with like dots and stripes? We never even thought
maybe
about
we
that
should just
before.
make everything in the store with these fabrics.
We could.
Yeah, so this is a Yuma. You may or may not recognize it. Yuma is one of the free patterns that we have on our website.
That
And
we've made in a
redone
ton
it
of.
in so many different fabrics over the years. And this one was all solids. We were trying to do like a guy version.
Something more masculine.
And I actually love this version.
I do too.
Customers didn't love it that
Yeah,
much, so we
didn't sell so
retired that
good.
kit. But we still have the sample, and I needed a background, so this is what I hung up today.
Yeah, I still like this
I
one.
know. I think this came out, and I like how Jen quilted it
Yes,
with these
I like the
random squiggles. Anyway, thanks for joining us for another Tuesdays in the Top. I'm glad I could be here this week.
Yes,
and
I am definitely
help out your
glad
technical
that she can be here this
problems.
week. For anyone that was watching last week, thanks for hanging in
Yeah,
there.
sorry about that.
Yeah, next time I have to do it myself, I will do some more practice beforehand.
Yeah, and we did practice.
I know. that's the sad part.
Do we have any housekeeping that we have to remind people of?
Not that I know of.
The only thing I was thinking is reminder, if you are in New York City and you might want to get your sewing machine service, there is no service date in May. We had a conflict with dates, and like there's too many things happening in May. So the next service date is June.
June
Nothing
8th,
in
I
May.
believe.
Yep.
Because I looked it up for someone earlier today.
Okay, makes sense. All right, that's it for us. If you have any questions, you can always email us,
Yep.
info@gothamquilts.com, or send us a message on Instagram, and I will respond. We'll see you next week, and we have no idea what we'll talk about, but it'll be fun. I promise.
We have a few ideas.
Wait, we do?
Yeah, remember?
Oh, right. We did already talk about what, and I already forgot.
Yeah,
Oh, well.
This is us.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.